you talking about? What are you talking about?
So I said, okay, good. So when she called me the other day, tried to get back with me yesterday, and I declined because she was so mad about Clarissa, so angry because I finally moved on. She see us living our life. She talking about doing something for the gram or doing it for this and that. I'm living my life.
Tell your current come up. Don't say nothing about me. Maybe not even say nothing about you.
Definitely would visit when they, everybody got their own lives. So whenever they had time, they came up and visited and supported. But me, I was visiting her every day, focused on my wife. And I just visited her every day. And she used to tell me like, yo, you can't do this. You got to focus on your career. And I was like, yo, I don't care about that. So everything just got worse for me.
When I didn't want a manager anymore, when I didn't want somebody taking 20% out of my check, when I decided that I didn't like being guilt tripped, oh, I was there when nobody else was there. That's the type of people that gets preyed on.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. So if you guys are unaware of this entire Remy Ma and Papoose situation, I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys entirely up to speed. So as we know, rapper Remy Ma, famously known for her outbreak song of Lean Back with the group Terror Squad. Obviously the frontrunner of that group was Fat Joe. And her husband, rapper Papoose, who is mostly known for his feature on the Touch It remix by Busta Rhymes.
Get low, Papoose. Five bubbles of death. You don't understand. I got New York City in the palm of my hand. And now I know my pinky queens on my thumb loop. The Bronx on my middle finger spinning.
Now, the two of them have been a couple for decades, right? And, this all kind of started when Remy Ma just randomly started to post things on social media exposing the relationship that Papoose was in with, greatest woman of all time boxer, Clarissa Shields. So as you can see, there was a series of, texts and posts and DMs and stuff that she was like revealing on social media, basically outing the relationship. However, it had already been previously reported, there was a lot of, speculation and rumors that Remy Ma had already moved on prior to any kind of situation going on between Papoose and Clarissa.
Just found out you was in the help. That could really ruin your image. We talking rocking with Shale, having real. That's us. Y'all the poster child symbol for black love. Go. You wouldn't even think that y'all marriage still had to go through them stages. Every interview, he showed his admiration and tell the world how he think his woman the greatest. They held you down in prison for 6 years.
Now we got to address the elephant in the room. Like Geechee went crazy. The whole. Can we even talk about the whole Easy to Papoose now that he don't talk as much as they talked on the stage?
Oh,
yes.
He started the blogs for the past few months.
The blog, okay.
That's the way it sounds like.
Okay.
Now, at that time, it had never been, confirmed or denied that there was anything going on with, Remy Ma and the battle rapper that she was in a relationship with. However, it was, something that I believe that people were hoping was not going to be the truth, or there was no truth to it, because, a lot of people who have been there and watched their career know that Remy Ma was actually, sentenced to prison time, and Papoose, not only did he stay with her for, the entire time that she was there, but he would also visit her so much when she was in prison that she had to tell him to, break it up, stay away sometimes, and that she was okay.
He used to come see me literally every single day, so I was chilling. I was like,
so he came up every day? Every visit?
For the first year, he came literally every single day. About 45 to an hour, depending on traffic.
So he was running up there every day, like coming up there?
Yeah, it got to a point where I had to tell him, like, yo, like, I'm good.
Now, obviously, because of the back and forth that had gone on social media between Clarissa and Remy and Papoose and, the boyfriend and all that, this whole tumultuous situation, most of the time when now either anybody goes on interviews, they're always asked about that situation. So what triggered this, recent altercation between everybody online was the fact that Clarissa Shields was actually on The Breakfast Club and she was promoting one of her upcoming fights. And they asked her questions about Papoose, questions about the Remy Ma situation, and this is what she had to say.
You said there's some things he needs to handle? What do you mean by that?
Say it again.
You said earlier there's some things Pap need to handle?
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's the elephant in the room. I don't have to say it.
I don't know.
In his personal life.
Oh,
yeah, it's the elephant in the room. Like,
yeah.
but that takes time. And like I said, that's not my place to speak on.
She was also very clear about the fact that, you know, she had no ill will towards Remy Ma at all.
I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't have any ill will toward any women. And I don't have any ill will toward her. You know
so y'all haven't spoke of, no.
No, I mean, she made her post and whatever, and that was about it. But like I said, women are women. They're very emotional creatures.
And, you know, just in my personal opinion, I believe that she was going about it in a way where, you know, she wasn't avoiding or, you know, staying away from any questioning, but she was also trying to be as respectful as she could, while also, you know, speaking about how happy she was within her relationship.
We talk about so many different things, and I'm 30, so we talk about kids and family and stuff like that, but like that still has to get taken care of. But like, you know, once again, it's not for me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not married, you know? So, yeah, that'll get handled.
Now, the first time that they had any kind of altercation, my standpoint was and still is that Remy Ma and Papoose going at it is one thing, but I always feel like the other two should stay out of it. Okay, because there is years and decades of history between Remy Ma and Papoose, and even if your name is called or whatever, you know, for Clarissa, it's just the respect that this is the mother of his, you know, child, and obviously somebody that he had history with. And to the guy, you know, don't bring up nothing. That's the father of her child. You know, that's her ex-husband. And I feel like, you know, when it comes to such intimate matters, I think that the people who are partners in this situation should have, you know, not a lot to say. And so Clarissa going this route, I felt like was the right thing to do. I felt like she didn't say anything that was against the grain. I don't think that she alluded to anything or didn't allude to anything. You know, I believe that she just used her standpoint to express, you know, what she thought the situation was. Well, Remy Ma didn't take that lightly. Okay, Remy Ma felt, you know, she got very in her feelings. She got very upset. She was not happy about, you know, what it is that Clarissa had to say. And so she went on live stream for about, you know, an hour and a half, you know, ranting about the entire situation and then calling out Papoose and starting to make certain claims.
I've told Papoose. I told them. Why don't you tell this stuff? Why don't you tell your current come up? 'Cause that's what it is. Tell your current come up. Don't say nothing about me. Maybe not even say nothing about you until shit is what it is. Nobody shouldn't have any ill will towards me because I ain't do nothing to nobody. Nobody in the whole situation should have any ill will towards me. Nobody. I literally told him, every time your current come up says my name or does something that I feel is trying to attack me in any type of way, I'ma drag you. And I haven't even been dragging them.
Now, let me give you guys my opinion. Okay, I'm going to state out everything and continue to show you clips and the back and forth and all that. But let me just tell you my opinion. My opinion is I just personally feel that Remy Ma regrets cheating on Papoose. Okay, that's just my feeling, my opinion. I could be wrong. That's my opinion. Let me tell you why that's my opinion. The reason why I think that's how she feels is because somebody who is over it, doesn't want to be bothered, would not pay attention to anything. Wouldn't care, wouldn't comment, wouldn't state, wouldn't talk about, wouldn't expose.
I mean, you're just mad. You're punching the air. My air, I've never breathed so freely in my life. Okay?
If you are talking about the fact, which I'm going to play the clip in a second, that she talked about how she, you know, moved on and she was so far removed from the situation and, you know, whatever the situation was where, you know, when she stopped wanting to be in a relationship with him, she stopped wanting him to be her manager or whatever the case is and decided to do her after she already moved on. If that's the case, then what was the need for you to out him of his relationship with Clarissa?
I moved on. And when I woke up one day and got tired of taking care of people and protecting them and maintaining their image, that's when everybody was mad. That's when everybody was pissed off.
If you had already moved on, why make it seem like he was cheating on you, sneaking and creeping behind your back if you were already actively in a new relationship? I believe it's because she did not think that he was actually going to move on as fast and as effectively as he did with someone who she stated from in the past that she admired.
Definitely were busy when they, everybody got their own lives. So whenever they had time, they came up and visited and supported. But me, I was visiting her every day, focused on my wife. And I just visited her every day. And she used to tell me like, yo, you can't do this. You got to focus on your career. And I was like, yo, I don't care about that. So everything just got worse for me.
I think she thought that he was going to, just stand there and wait around, and she thought that he was going to be suffering, as a lot of women think. A lot of women have this mentality that, if I leave him, he can't get nobody else, and the only person that's going to move on is me, and he's going to be sad and suffering and crying. And when she see this big old smile on this man's face, and he walking around very happy, that irritated her. That made her so upset that she said, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and tarnish her image, which she continuously goes on a campaign of trying to do.
When I didn't want a manager anymore, when I didn't want somebody taking 20% out of my check and I still pay all the bills anymore, when I decided that I didn't like being guilt tripped. Oh, I was there when nobody else was there. That's the type of people that gets preyed on.
You know what's crazy to me is that that's something that money can't buy. The solace that he provided her when she was in jail for 8 years. I believe it was 8 years. Okay, if it wasn't 8, it was 6. Long time. The solace that this man provided her during that time that she was there, he was basically doing the time with her. So if you then come out and start treating him a certain way, disrespecting him, and he's reminding you of the time that he spent doing what he did to support you and to assist you and to, effectively be there for you, I think he has the right to bring it up. And you talking about the fact that he's getting a cut, you guys are married. It's supposed to be my money is his money is my money.
When you first got locked up, you and Pat wasn't married yet.
No.
So did you know that he was going to be there and stand up the way he stood up?
No.
But I just feel like a lot of these girls, come out, have these situations where they watch these other people on social media, they watch these other lifestyles, they watch, what other people got going on, and decide that they want those situations instead, and then turn their back on the person that has been there for them. A lot of women do it. It's no different than the situation with Tia Mowry and Corey Hardrick, where Tia was complaining to Jackie Harry that, Corey wasn't working and Corey this and Corey that. Mind you, they had kids together. Tia Mowry had already been an actress, same way that Remy Ma had already been an established artist. But when Tia had kids, she expected Corey to be there with the kids instead of focusing on his acting career.
If I might say, somebody else was dissatisfied because they weren't working.
No, I know, you're absolutely
right.
One
partner makes more money or has more success, there's a gap that is so hard and it can't. And you can't stop your career because you want to even it out.
It's the same thing that happened with Papoose. Papoose had a whole entire bright career that he could have poured into, but in my opinion, it seemed that he felt that he would have been, guilty to move forward on his own behalf because his wife is in jail, behind bars. Let me take care of the kids and let me be here and support her. You can't pay for that. You can't pay for that kind of loyalty. You can't pay for that type of support. You cannot pay for that. If so, she'd be forever indebted.
Snatched out of society instantly. They didn't give her a chance to pack her crib up, situate her son or anything. So I had to do all of that.
Now, again, if you are saying that from May 2022, the two of you guys were never in, you guys weren't even sleeping in the same room, and, it could have never been infidelity that was the cause of any kind of demise in the relationship because he had been cheating on you since you were, locked away or whatever the case is. Again, that would mean that you are clearly bothered about the situation if you felt the need to post it on social media.
You refuse to tell people, hey, me and Rem haven't even slept in the same bed since May 2022. You don't want to tell nobody that.
Again, because that even further fuels the fact that you feel some type of way that he moved on. Because if you did not feel any type of way and it was already open, you moved on, you're so happy, he moved on, he's so happy, the two of you are happy in separate places. If that's the case, from 2022, you brought it up in 2024. And only when he moved on. You didn't bring it up when you moved on. You didn't talk about or out yourself when you moved on, and he didn't out you either. You brought it up. You said something. And I'm going to say this. Maybe some people might agree with me. Maybe they might not agree with me. But the whole, talking about Papoose and what he did when she was away, whatever the case is, this is just my personal opinion. Even if he did mess with or deal with, so what? Okay? I'm sorry. So what?
Because guess what? I'm such a real one. I know the procedure when somebody goes to prison. I know the procedure. So it was never about infidelity. When I came home and I went straight through that phone immediately. I know what was up. When I had to fight baby mothers at mother-in-law's houses on Thanksgiving, I knew that girl wasn't lying about what she was saying was going on while I was saying. I knew she wasn't lying. I just was mad. I knew she wasn't lying, though.
And he was still taking care of your kids. He was still taking care of all of your affairs. He was still taking care of you. You're the one, again, who said out of your mouth that he was visiting you so much, you had to tell him to stop.
He used to come see me literally every single day, so I was chilling. I was like,
so he came up every day? Every visit?
For the first year, he came literally every single day. About 45 to an hour, depending on traffic.
So he was running up there every day, like coming up there.
Yeah, so like, it got to a point where I had to tell him, like, yo, like, I'm good.
Rivah had also posted these text messages. And it was, it looks like somebody sending him something and, her covering up the situation or whatever the case is. And, the only thing that I'm seeing in these text messages is the person texting and looking like they're talking to themselves. Okay. I'm not seeing any response. I'm not seeing, anything being mentioned. There's a lot of things that are covered, and also the fact that you have these messages from 2014 is kind of strange. Like, were you holding on to this to prove something to somebody else? Like, what would be the reason that you saw this situation? He was there for you. You married him after you came from jail. Then you had a baby with him after you came from jail just to hold on to this for safekeeping? It's not adding up. It's not making any sense. If you knew that he was doing something, like, it's almost as if she's saying the things that he did, one, to tarnish his reputation because everybody holds that close to them, the fact that he was there for her and supported her. So almost like to tarnish his character in that way, but to also make it seem like it's okay that she's doing what she's doing or that she decided to step out when she did.
So it was never about infidelity.
What gets me about this situation is that, Papoose actually ended up responding to a lot of the things that he was on live for 3 hours. Okay. He was on live stream on live on his Instagram for 3 hours. And I was like, Papoose, could we have made it a little bit smaller so I could have, clipped it? But it's just too much information that he gave out. And, for a man to sit there and vent for so long, it made me believe, that what he was saying was his lived experience. Right. And, the way that he was going into detail about, Remy being involved with, women and him catching her with, the things that he saw going on with her and this man and like all these other things that he saw, the amount of detail that he was giving in these situations is clearly a lived experience.
I try to be intimate. I'm keeping it 100 with you. I try to be intimate with her. And she came in the bed with me. She slipped out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay. After she do that, she go back to sleep in the room with homegirl this particular night. I said, something is fishy here. I said, I ain't no rocket scientist, but this ain't adding up. You feel me? So I said, damn, something wrong, something ain't right here. So one time, I had to go do something. I had to go handle some business. So I go handle business. I come back in the crib. It's a big-ass crib. And they got like a long walkway to get to our bedroom. It's like a long walkway. And then on the other side is the other rooms. So I come in the crib. As soon as I walk in, I look down towards our bedroom. I see my daughter in our room by herself. I said, yo, what the heck? Where the hell is she at? So I go up the other side, and when I tell you this is a big crib, so it's a long walkway. I go to the other side, I go in the room, she in the bed. I don't see homegirl though. It's like she booked it or something when I came. But I see a whole plate, peanuts, cashew, all these type of raisins all laid out. But my daughter in the room by herself. So I said, yo, why the baby in the room by herself? She made some bull excuse. Extreme liar. You never seen a liar like this in your life. I said, where homegirl at? She didn't even answer that. It was just like a weird answer. I pushed past that. Moving on along, I hate to say this, y'all. I hate to say this. But you want to know why she started having so much animosity towards me? Because I ended up finding out the truth, y'all. And I'm not saying this because it's a bad thing, but I'm saying this because, when I say not a bad thing, because I don't judge people who live that lifestyle. But she has done a lot of bashing towards people who live that lifestyle and talk so bad about them and say so many foul things about them that it hurted her so bad that I knew the truth. So on another day, I caught her with this individual in our house while my daughter was on the bed with them. Ended up catching it. Now, this individual is a female. So I can't do nothing to her. I don't put my hands on females. Y'all want to know what I did? I told the individual, I said, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to be honest. I didn't put my hands on her because I'm not going to do that. I don't hit women. But I told her to get out.
What gets me about this situation is that as, you know, Papoose detailed all of this information, a lot of these allegations that he brought forth, Remy Ma she's yet to refute, right? The only thing that she keeps doing is calling him broke, calling him a user, you know, saying that he, you know, is only a good support system. You know, she tried to make jokes about him that women are, you know, grabbing onto and stuff like that.
Yes. He's a great support system. I'll never take that away from him. Don't nobody hold a purse or tie a shoe like a great support system. Very entitled, very needy, very, I don't even, you know what? Now he's a wife. Listen.
You know, she's trying to spread doubt to this girl in the relationship to make it seem like he doesn't really want to be with her. He doesn't really like her like that, so that, you know, it can try to break them up.
I look at it now and I feel sorry for old girl. Like, I feel sorry for her because I know the circles that's being ran and wrapped around over there. Like, I would cry. I feel bad. I feel bad. Oh, everyone looks so much happier now. Girl, man, don't nobody fall in love faster than somebody with nowhere to stay.
You know, she's only using all of these out of bound claims, but the actual stuff that he has presented and talked about, she's yet to clarify. And, you know, again, I just don't think that she thought Papoose was going to move forward. One, because I don't think that she thought that he had it in him. This is the man who, you know, jumped for joy when he found out she was pregnant. This is the man who, you know, promoted black love. This is a man, like I said, who, you know, unapologetically stood by her. This is a man that supported her children, right, when she was away. This is a man who put his career on the back burner to, you know, help advance her, help write for her, you know, do all of these things to assist her in her career. And I don't think that I think she thought that she was a prize in the relationship and that, you know, like I said, he's just going to be groveling and begging to get back with her because he was staying in the pain.
So I said, okay, good. So when she called me the other day, tried to get back with me yesterday, and I declined because she was so mad about Clarissa, so angry because I finally moved on. She see us living our life. She talking about doing something for the gram or doing it for this and that. I'm living my life. I lived over there with you. I tolerated your foolishness, your cheating, and your adultery for years and years and years.
There's a situation that came up where, you know, the two of them not being divorced, right? And so he was saying in the live stream that the reason why he did not, you know, go through the actual paper filing and the two of them being in court and feuding, whatever, is because he felt that it would negatively impact his child because he knew how messy it would be, how tumultuous it would be, whatever the case is. And I guess he knew the levels that she would go to. I'm not really sure. I don't agree with that. Okay, I think regardless of the minute that you saw her laid up in a bed with, you know, a woman allegedly, I think that should have been it. I don't think there should have been any more conversation. I think that should have been, you know, a done deal. Period. There was also stuff that she brought up on a live stream where the two of them have been cool in communicating, even when it's not about the child, like the two of them communicate as friends.
Hold on. We in Africa, right? I ain't go to Sierra Leone. Hold up. You call me later. You call me back, call me later. I'm busy. Hold on, sending me videos. Yo, right now it's 1 minute. I can't make this up if I wanted to. Why do I care what degrees is out there? Small talk. Videos of everything that's going on. Yo, how do they balance that? I'm not gonna lie, the molar carts is fire. It's only 92 degrees. I'm assuming it's supposed to rain. This and that's not. You already know when they give the temperature. Everything was fine. Look at me, you dressing like Brooklyn over there. You better get some kente cloth. I hate traveling with a bunch of stuff. Stop it. You have clothes. Look, I hate traveling with a bunch of stuff and I don't have any clothes anymore. I wear the same things all the time. Stop it. You have clothes. You just don't want to come get them. What are you talking about?
Again, I don't agree with this. And, you know, this is how a lot of these men who try to do the right thing, try to be the stand-up guy, try to be as supportive and whatever the case is to these women get that short end of the stick. Because she's out here with this guy who, you know, was walking around very boisterous about their situation, doesn't seem to have the same esteem at all, you know, the same, you know, respect level, whatever the case is. Like, she obviously doesn't want to be treated the way that you are offering to treat her. And so thinking that you can then be cool with that type of person who you already know can be vindictive, who you already know who could be nasty, who you've already seen the other side of, that's foolishness to me. It's just like men who have toxic situations with their, you know, their exes or their baby mothers or whatever, and know how toxic she is, know how disrespectful she is, know how vindictive she is, and then go sleep with her. It's like, you're a part of the problem too.
What are you talking about?
Clearly. And I think that in this situation, from what I'm seeing, it seems as though, you know, they had a situation where they could be cool. You know, they had a lot of history there. Maybe there was a lot of hot and cold of jumping back and not going because, like I said, over 20 years, that's a long time. But the decisions have been made. He's clearly moved on. Okay? You clearly been moved on, as you keep claiming. But if you were as unbothered as you say you are, You would not be out making these claims over an interview clip that this girl was not disrespectful. She wasn't nasty. She wasn't discrediting you. She was only talking about the relationship that she has. You can't tell this girl to not talk about her new relationship while you over here courtside. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And how do you think that you deserve that level of control over somebody who has no connection to you? That's delusional.
Tell your current come up. Don't say nothing about me. Maybe not even say nothing about you.
A lot of people are saying, oh, they're still married or whatever the case. And so, Papoose shouldn't be out with this girl. But y'all have no problem with Remy moving on. She's still legally married too. But y'all have no problem with her moving on. Y'all have no problem that she's been dealing with this man way before these two even knew each other. It's a hypocrisy. And I hate to see all these women supporting this situation. Supporting the foolishness. I think that's so messy and disgraceful and disrespectful. And it shows that a man can show his loyalty 10 toes down. Women can see it on full display. And if a woman comes out one day and says, he's not that, I lied, they will just immediately believe that. And will never give that person that they thought was so admirable a chance to even defend himself or speak up for himself. It's foolishness. I'd like some of you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this entire situation. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.